Alright, all you streetlight crusaders, and I guess a couple of you insomniatic wrestling fans out there tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And you know, folks, like we said during the intro, we have some big news regarding the Indy Awards that we found out during Under the Radar that took place last night. And what do I mean by that, folks? Well, me and the Maestro, we usually wait until the last week of December to look at a calendar to truly see if everything is going to line up the way we hope for next year. And we were a little bit worried and decided to look ahead of time, especially regarding the Indy Awards. Because, as you know, on February 14th will be the 300th episode of Music Village. And we said immediately after that we were going to jump and go directly into the Indy Awards that would have taken place on February 15th at around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe a little bit later depending on how the month goes. But then we thought about it and said, how in the world are we going to plan for two monumental blockbuster shows like that back to back within each other without going insane? So we started to worry. We said, oh, we might have to move it to March. Then we're going to probably have to move it to mid-March or somewhere around there where the Indie Radio Arcade's not located. And then we got hit with a beautiful masterpiece of an idea. We realized that in February of next year, it won't be the 28 days of greatness. There will be one extra day added to that month, known as a leap year. And for that leap year, folks, we're going to be doing the Indy Awards on that day. Yes, that's right, folks. An award show we only do once a year will be taking place on a day that only comes around every 4 years. So remark this date on your calendar, folks. February 29th at around 11, maybe 11:30 p.m., the Indy Awards, the 2020 6th Annual Indy Awards will be taking place on that fateful day. A lethal leap year of sorts, but will be for the Indy Awards for that year. And now with that weight lifted calmly off my shoulders from milestone shows and things that we got planned for this year into the next one, folks, I think it's now time for us to talk about what happened during this week's edition of Monday Night Raw from Greenville, North Carolina. And according to the Maestro, it's South Carolina, but I got it wrong during the intro before and said, oh, I said South. Yeah, my bad. My bad, South Carolina. Sorry I got that one wrong. And speaking of absolutely wrong, folks, Monday Night Raw would kick off with the divorce of Lana and Rusev. And to save everybody at home 20 or 15 minutes of back and forth arguing that I almost tuned out by turning it to an episode of Friends, it all would end with Rusev saying he'll sign the divorce papers under one condition, that he could have Bobby Lashley in a match at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs this Sunday. And to accept it would be Bobby Lashley by saying, I'll fight you in a match, and after you sign those divorce papers, I'm gonna marry this woman. Right. And that would lead to a brawl between Rusev and company, and then it would lead to Rusev putting Lashley through a table, making the match at TLC a tables match. When originally I thought it was going to be a ladder match with the divorce papers hanging up, but, a tables match where Lana can interfere, even better. And besides that train wreck of a divorce that Jerry the King Lawler decided to mediate and did a horrible job to let all that stuff go on, the first match for Monday Night Raw we have for this week has none other than the Scottish Terminator Drew McIntyre going one-on-one against the broken or not so broken Matt Hardy. And once again this week, folks, Matt Hardy would get embarrassed on live television, not only verbally but physically during this match, because prior to this match taking place, Drew McIntyre would deliver some good news saying that Reby Sky would deliver yet another Hardy baby into the world, but would then decide to say, we know it's your baby because it's cross-eyed, and to prevent you from making another Hardly mistake, I'm gonna allow you to go and walk outside this ring so you won't get seriously hurt, only for Matt Hardy to take those comments to heart and beat the living daylights flag tag out of Drew McIntyre, even hitting him with a twist of fate prior to the match starting, causing Drew McIntyre to go through a loop. But during the later goings of the match, when Matt Hardy tried to go for another one on the outside of the ring, he would get sent into the stairs, then he would get reversed out of a backslide into a future shock DDT, and then the coup de grace of this whole match, leading to a Claymore kick directly to the eye socket of Matt Hardy, and 3 seconds later, the Scottish Terminator would terminate yet another contract on his head via pinfall. I don't know what in the world they're doing with Matt Hardy, but if these things don't break him, I don't know what will. And immediately after that match would go on, folks, the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would be for the Tag Team Championships of Monday Night Raw, which would feature the Viking Raiders in an open challenge to anybody in the back, going up against the Street Profits. And needless to say, folks, this match was match of the night quality, not only because of the fact that the Street Profits would be able to start off this match with a blitzkrieg of offense, even doing a T-bone suplex to, of all people, Ivar during this match, and even Montez Ford getting in a cartwheeling contest with Ivar as well. But ultimately, once the Viking Raiders got their bearings and things really started to get rolling, the Street Profits would find themselves in a lot of trouble by not only getting hit with a cyclone kick and even the over-endo tiger knee right to the face of one Curse of Greatness, but unfortunately it would lead all up to a Viking experience that they would never forget for Montez Ford, for the Viking Raiders to once again win and retain their championships in the most dominating fashion known possible via pinfall. And after the match was over, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, which I almost forgot his name, would then decide to show a sign of respect to the Viking Raiders, only for it to be interrupted by Seth Rollins coming out and actually trying to explain that he's not a part of the AOP, only for Kevin Owens to come out, say that he knows that the AOP is under his payroll and that he thinks that he's the one behind all of this and doesn't even want to team up with him and wants to go ahead and take him out ahead of the AOP's arrival, only for Seth Rollins to say, I'm gonna make another unpopular decision and just walk away. Good night to you people and good night to you, Kevin Owens. Only for Kevin Owens to go on a manhunt for the AOP and to save people some trouble. Along the way of trying to find the AOP, he would run into Mojo Riley, who decided to get rid of that, I guess, face paint that he decided to have on his face that made him look like Cattleback from a Superman episode, only for that paint to get replaced with a left hand to his face by Kevin Owens after he gave him wrong directions. Then fast forward later on, deeper into the night, he would have to deal with Sami Zayn and Mojo Riley actually getting in his face for Mojo Riley to say, oh, you're a big tough guy when you have a steel pipe in your hand. And by the way, he got that steel pipe from Rey Mysterio earlier in the night when he said, my homie's gonna protect you for the night, in the form of the steel pipe he tried to use against Lesnar. So now that you're all caught up with that, folks, where would this lead? A steel pipe being thrown to Mojo Riley, a Stone Cold Stunner, him getting waylaid with that said pipe, Kevin Owens going backstage, finding the van the AOP arrived in, and then, next thing you know, would try to get the AOP out of the back of the van, only for them to appear behind them, beat the living crap out of them into a garage door and to a set of pipes like every backstage fight would normally have, only for the person in the seat to turn around like Dr. Evil or any evil mastermind you know of in one of those classic James Bond films to reveal it would be none other than Seth Rollins himself saying, "Sorry it had to come to this. I'm sorry," only for him to black out the situation of one Kevin Owens, then make his way out to the ring and says, "I'm sick and tired of trying to please you people. No matter what I do, I can't win." So after all this time of you going over to Kevin Owens and saying that he was right and I was wrong when I broke my back and almost killed myself in the ring for you guys, I've decided to team up with the AOP. So, according to Seth Rollins, because of us, not me included, because I didn't accuse him for the whole AOP thing, that he's become maligned thanks to the situation of the fans. Yeah, so now he's officially a bad guy, and hopefully this leads to him in a flank vest along with the AOP dominating Monday Night Raw like he used to with J&J Security. Or would it be AOP Security now? Not too entirely sure. But back to our regularly scheduled programming. Besides the whole thing with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw would be none other than Aleister Black going one-on-one against Akira Tozawa. And during this match, Akira Tozawa tried to use his lightning quick speed to try to take out Aleister Black, but unfortunately when he tried to go for that Minestrone missile or suicide dive to the outside of the ring, it would turn out to be just that, suicide, because Aleister Black will be waiting right outside the ring for a super tiger knee right to the face of Akira Tozawa, knocking him out cold, bringing him back inside the ring, hitting him with a black mass, and 3 seconds later, Akira Tozawa would fade to black, leading to Aleister Black winning this match via pinfall. And if you're wondering out there, folks, there is going to be a match at TLC with Aleister Black going one-on-one against Buddy Murphy. And then later on that night, prior to Buddy Murphy's match, Aleister Black would say, "I hope you're ready for this Sunday, because if you're not, you're going to regret trying to pick a fight with me." And how would Buddy Murphy respond? Well, he would go to the ring, he would fight Zack Ryder, and during the match when Zack Ryder was getting the better of him, outside the ring his partner Kurt Hawkins, who was minding his own business, would get right hooked into the face, then for Zack Ryder to take his eye off the ball and say, "Hey bro, you okay?" Only for him to receive a tiger knee right to the face, and then Murphy's Law would go into effect for Murphy to win this match in cheap-like fashion via pinfall. And would once again prove the announcers right that he's willing to do anything to win, and I got a feeling that's going to be his edge, that's going to help him beat Aleister Black this Sunday. But, you know, even though we are going to review this on Friday's episode of Music Village, I'll say the same thing the casinos and Wesley Snipes says: always bet on Black. And since we're going completely out of order here, folks, one match that we forgot from earlier on tonight would be none other than Becky Lynch going 2-on-1 or 1-on-2 against the Kabuki Warriors. And the only reason this match is going down is because Becky Lynch wants to prove a point. And that and Charlotte came up to her asking to team up with her and would open up with the line to actually get the team going that I don't like you and you don't like me, but we should team up together to try to face off against the Kabuki Warriors for you to be Becky 2 belts again. But Becky was having none of it and would say that she was gonna fight them both at once to collect her final bit of debts, almost like the list that, you know, the bride had in the movie Kill Bill. Yeah, that's what she was going for, closure. And unfortunately, instead of closure during this 2-on-1 handicap match, she would not only have to fight her way through cheap tricks and a bag of tricks that was delivered by both of them, including a nasty-looking doomsday device that took place during this match that almost took out the former Becky Two Belts, for Becky to kick out at the count of 2. See, 2's a theme during this match because there was a lot of near falls, including Becky Lynch getting a near fall after a manhandle slam and even a disarmor during this match. The Kabuki Warriors would get so frustrated and realize that they weren't enough to take on Becky Two Belts by themselves, or former Becky Two Belts, and decide to go outside the ring to get a bag of tricks in the form of a steel chair by Asuka and a table by Kairi Sane for her to deliver the insane elbow from the top rope through the table, by God, circa JR, for them to lose this match via disqualification. And after she got the crap beaten out of her, Charlotte, with a look of a smile and I told you so on her face, would then get the answer that she wanted, saying, yes, I'll fight them at tables, ladders, and chairs alongside with you, but we're gonna up the ante and make it a tables, ladders, and chairs tornado tag team match that will take place at TLC. And after Charlotte got the answer she wanted and was trying to walk out of the medical room that Becky was in, next thing you know, she would get jumped by the Kabuki Warriors as well, with a waylay of shots to the back of the head and a steel chair to finish it all off. So yeah, they're coming for blood this Sunday, and I got a feeling that's gonna lead to an excellent match. Seeing the fact that it was, 1 year ago since all 3 of them, with the exception of Kairi Sane, was in a match for the championship in a ladder format? Yeah, how time flies. And the next match to take place on Monday Night Raw, and I don't even count this as a match, folks, would be Eric Rowan going one-on-one against Tracer X. Tracer X? What is that, a bad guy from Teen Titans? Maestro said that was Red X. Well, who's Tracer X? Oh, apparently the guy who got crossed out during this quote-unquote match, because this guy, with balls of steel, mind you, would go ahead and take the cage away from Eric Rowan, run up the ramp for Eric Rowan to just go there, cradle the cage, and the kid would go back into the ring saying, count him out, for the referee to only get to a good 5 count, and then next thing you know, that would be the last 5 seconds of this kid's life, because next thing you know, Rowan would do not 1, not 2, but almost 3 iron claws before the referee would decide, stop the fight, he's dead, by God, he's dead. For Rowan to win this match via knockout, I guess, or stoppage. That seems to be a thing nowadays in WWE with certain matches, but then again, that's the same thing that happened with Batista. But we'll get to that in a minute, folks, because after the match was stopped, next thing you know, another Iron Claw, and an Iron Claw following that with Rowan saying, "What's the matter with you?" Yeah, and I would have to agree. What is wrong with this kid? He's trying to get himself killed. And to circle back to the whole Batista thing, it's been announced officially that he is now a part of the 2020 class of 2020 for the Hall of Fame, along with the NWO. And to try to figure this out, and I asked J-Bone this during his Smash This podcast, how many members of the NWO are really going to be in for the Hall of Fame? There was at least 25 of them, including Virgil. Who's going to be in for that? It would be funny if they have every single member of the NWO up there on stage looking to get a ring, and then only just Hogan, X-Pac, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall gets one, and they all walk off the stage going, "Aww." They'll do something funny. I got a feeling they will. And alongside with Batista, congratulations, former 6-time world heavyweight champion, a man with a heart of gold, great Hollywood actor, and not to mention a man who was so jacked to the gills when he first started. I really thought he killed Jericho when he was in that match one-on-one when he clotheslined his head off, or when he choked the throat of Shawn Michaels prior to Armageddon. I thought he killed the man there too. Yeah, so congratulations, Batista, and many more success to you in the future, along with the NWO. And to continue on with Monday Night Raw, we go into the last but not least match that took place on this said programming, folks, which would be none other than Rey Mysterio going one-on-one against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, for the United States Championship. And during this match, action would go back and forth, including Rey Mysterio getting a small package pin during this match for a near fall, and even AJ Styles actually doing a rope hung or a slingshot into the turnbuckle, also while throwing Rey Mysterio into the turnbuckle post. Yeah, with some nasty stuff. And even Gallows and Anderson would get involved and take a 619 bullet for the phenomenal one for AJ Styles to get the upper hand and do a powerbomb, disgusting powerbomb by the way, leading directly into a Styles clash, only for, I guess, Randy Orton to come from out of nowhere, slide into the ring, wink at AJ Styles. Next thing you know, Rey would wake up from the Styles clash, go into the Monday Night Special, giving him a chance to retain his United States Championship via pinfall. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he won with a small package, thanks to none other than the Viper Randy Orton, who actually congratulated Batista for winning his whole Hall of Fame thing later on in the night. And according to Maestro, we're forgetting one more match, which was Humberto Carrillo going one-on-one against Andrade Cien Almas. And during this match, it was a good match. A back and forth action filled with hits, kicks, and flips, especially from Humberto Carrillo doing a beautiful Ase moonsault to the outside of the ring, and even fooling Andrade by doing a single leg drop kick to the face when he tried to go for his double knee strike. But Andrade would counter back with his fake kick back elbow strike during this match, almost knocking out Humberto, but at the same time would end up recovering during this match, only after Selena Vega would get up on the apron and Andrade would take a miscue, hit her off the apron, and then next thing you know, roll up later, your winner, none other than Humberto Carrillo, which apparently, according to one of the interviewers backstage, is having the rookie year of a lifetime. And I would have to agree with her, especially with the fact that he beat an undefeated man. Definitely a rookie year of a lifetime. And with all that said, folks, and like we said during these results before, we will be doing a full match card review for the final pay-per-view of this year for WWE of Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. And I can't wait to see what sort of madness they got up their sleeves for that said pay-per-view. And with all of that said, folks, I think it's time for us to go ahead and grab a glass of water and continue to listen in to these Diamonds That Are Off. And when we return, we'll be back with more of the Tuesday Night Special right after this. So don't fall asleep just yet, folks, and stay tuned.